If you're a business owner, manager, inside the business, this video is for you, and I'm referring here to a comment that I got in one of my other videos where I talked about Heptabase as a PKM tool, and it was actually surprising me a bit that I received this comment on this video. The comment says, I have tried a few different systems, but in real-time business setting, I haven't found one that really helps. Haven't found because he corrected it down here, right? By real-time, I mean receiving 100 client emails a day, average 50 items sitting on a daily do list, on top of calls, whilst leading and managing team of 40, reporting to board, etc. What a busy life you have. But you're not alone. This is a life of a professional. And the thing is, commenting on a video where I talk about a personal knowledge management tool, a note-taking tool, it will never solve your problem. And that's what this video is for, to give you the big picture of a productivity system. So let's extract first what we have from this comment that we can work with. First, he has 100 client emails a day, 50 items sitting on the daily to-do list on top of calls, leading and managing a team of 50, and report to the board. And obviously he even said etc., which means there's a lot more going on. When I was working corporate, this is not so much going on here. Same for our co-founder, Paco Cantero, who is running 4 businesses. He has 200 speedies a week, which are tasks less than 15 minutes. And well, let's dive in to see what the difference is. And there's so much more inside these 4 points than just saying 100 client emails a day, things like that. And that's where we need to get a holistic view on a productivity system end to end. And that's what we do with our ICOR methodology. We are not just looking into the personal knowledge management part where you organize your information better, something like that. As professionals, we need to understand a productivity system end to end. And therefore, we also need to acknowledge that there is information and there is action. And on YouTube, so many people focus so much on this personal information management part and they forget about the rest. And when we look at the pain points here, I don't see so much information going on. This is all actions. So I wonder why this comment appears then on the video where I talk about a note-taking app, saying I tested all these systems. I don't know what system you're referring to. Is it, I don't know, second brain or linking your thinking? Or is it actually GTD, getting things done and other things? Or maybe even Agile and Scrum and all these things. As you have quite a big team and things like that, you might have dipped into this. No wonder that these things didn't work. I can tell you from experience from our clients and our members, none of these methodologies actually cover productivity system end to end, except our ICOR methodology, which is business proven, as Paco and I are both using this in real life for our own businesses and thousands of our members who are professionals in this scale, as we have here in the comment too. So let's look into what the typical YouTuber would talk about when they talk about using Obsidian and Notion templates and things like that. They look into something like this area. PKM, personal knowledge management. You see, we differentiate between personal and business, whereas in this context, personal always means the personal work inside the business. Business refers more to the teamwork and goal setting and project management. In the personal knowledge management, many talk about the deep thinking part of personal knowledge management. And this is the inner world that we refer to. But there's so much going on from the outer world getting thrown at you, like this video, articles that you read, random things that appear that we need to save. And I'm not going into the details in this video. Well, we have whole courses just about these topics, right? So that's why I will just give you the big picture about a productivity system. So when we talk about personal knowledge management, we talk about deep thinking versus shallow thinking and the capturing beast, which makes it easy for you to capture and store the information in the right place where you find it easily later on. Then we go into PPM. You see, we are still in personal. PPM is personal project management, or commonly known as task management and time management. And there we go. This is the weekly planning, weekly review, daily planning. And very important, the differentiation between shallow work and deep work. And then we need to acknowledge that there are tasks that take less than 15 minutes and there are tasks that take more than 15 minutes up to 3 hours, where we say if it goes beyond 3 or 4 hours, You might need to break the task down in smaller tasks. These are the insights that you get by having just this holistic understanding of a productivity system. So now you see already just in the personal area, we have now covered the ICOR methodology. ICOR stands for input, control, output, and refine. So information we have here, and now we go into the action part, but this is just the personal action part. And that's why output includes also the BPM, business project management, and the BKM, the business knowledge management. And you see now we are in a business area. And even if you're a solopreneur, this applies the same way. When I launched the paperless movement, I was on my own in the beginning, but I always pretended to work in a team, to become aware of all the hats that I'm wearing. So I was setting up a project management tool the way I would with a team. I was switching context, pretending that now I'm the marketing manager, now I'm the CEO, now I'm the creator, right, for YouTube and so on. So this includes the execution beast, and here we define, and that's very important about the ICOR methodology. We are not reinventing the wheel. We are just making you aware of what's around you. Going back to these 4 things here, there's so much in there, and the confusion that comes with it is not understanding or being able to define what's surrounding you every day. And that's what we do with the ICOR methodology. We just give the definitions for names and words that you use on a daily basis anyway, like a task, weekly planning, projects, goals. What is this, right? When you ask any of your 40 employees in your company, they might define all this differently. And when it comes to prioritization, what is priority high? What is priority low? In ICOR, we don't have any of these priority differentiations because any task that we create is connected to a project, and that project is always connected to a goal. So therefore, by just completing the task, we automatically achieve the goals. And work streams, this is something, for example, the client work. Well, again, I'm not going too much into detail. If you want to learn more about any of this, obviously you can go through our courses in the membership, or you can let me know in the comments below, and I'm happy to make a dedicated video about any of these areas. So for example, the idea incubator is part of the business knowledge management. How many times you get interrupted per week because one of your employees has an amazing idea they want to follow up directly? No, based on ICOR, we have 1 meeting a week where we cover everything that needs to get done this week, and then our people can work uninterrupted throughout the week because we have backlog systems that allows any team member to save any information that comes up during the week. Same is for the team communication system, that there are rules. If they follow, people can stay focused on what matters and what was agreed on during the week, unless there's an urgent task. And again, urgent needs to be defined. So you see, I'm going all over the place. And that's why we made this sequential order of our ICOR journey courses, where you start with the digital note-taking, go through the personal knowledge management, task management, project management, and then you dive into automation like a pro, where we do mapping of our business processes and then further optimizing. But we have to start with the foundation, because we see this over and over again, that the basic understanding of a productivity system in a business is not understood at all. And that's why our inner circle members are the business leaders or the team leaders or the managers who go through this program, and not the individual employee who then gets said, well, you have to become more productive. No. It's always the head who needs to understand it first and apply it to your own productivity, and then the team will follow automatically. And I'm not making this up. This is what I experienced myself over again, working 8 years in big corporate with 300,000 employees and still climbing the ladder, taking over leadership teams to improve productivity as a business analyst. And the outcome of these conclusions that I had in corporate, combined with the outcome from my co-founder Paco Cantero, building and running 4 businesses over 20 years, that's what we concluded in this holistic methodology. And it's tool agnostic. You see, there's no tool coming up. So if I talk about Heptabase, this is based on the tool agnostic concepts and workflows that we teach inside ICOR. So this means if tomorrow Heptabase disappears, I don't care. I will move on to the next tool where I apply the same concepts and workflows. And if you wonder about, hey, but how do you migrate information? I made a video about this. you can watch this next because it's a lot easier than you might think. So it's really important, and here is really just the high level details, but overall in ICOR we talk about over 50 concepts and workflows, and our members, they go into the myICOR application and there is a system check that they can go through, and that's where you see 59 concepts and workflows that you get a question for, and then you get the details, and each concept and workflow is connected to a lesson inside the membership. So with a click of a button you get here, you get magic slides around this topic, you know, for the workflows and things like that. You get a short video, everything is explained. The key is, do you really need to master the 59? No, we see this over and over again. For most people, it's 2-3 concepts and workflows that they understand now. Oh, that's what I'm doing every day. I just need to find a single source of truth for this type of information. And the productivity goes through the roof with simple adjustments. And it's not about discipline or willpower. It's about understanding what's going on in your life anyway, and then make the improvements next. But if you're into tools, then that's where the ICOR framework comes in. Our members can lay out the tools, and then you get the understanding, right? Here we have Heptabase. If I open up Heptabase, now you see what I'm using Heptabase for. So by placing it here, you get this. But here again, we go too much into detail. So let's go back to these things. There's so much to unfold in these items here. If you have 50 tasks sitting there each day, this sounds to me that you're moving these from one day to the other. And that's not much. In our inner circle, so many times we had people with thousands of tasks. They selected all and updated the due date to the next week. The thing is, if you have so much going on, there's no prioritization at all in place. Everything that sits in your action system should have a purpose to get done. Everything else should stay in the idea incubator or in your information system. And now if you say, man, but Tom, this is all overkill. Well, either you want to improve your productivity system or you don't. But I can tell you, all the time that you invest in going to YouTube, installing templates, watching random tutorials, trying to fix a symptom while you're not curing the disease, you will just feel busy and probably procrastinating your work by doing work about work, setting up your PKM system and things like that, instead of getting the fundamental understanding of what actually is going on in your business life and finding the cure for it. And there is no other way than investing time. And we guarantee in just 1 month, our busy professionals will have a productivity system up and running, have this mindset change after the month, and all the tools they need to keep improving the overall system. And when it comes to team improvements, well, we have team dedicated inner circle programs too, where the whole team can come in and learn all this. But we usually say, once you improve yourself in the productivity, everybody else around will adapt to your way to work. This happens if the things that you do make sense. I have seen it so many times in corporate, going through Six Sigma, Agile, Scrum, and all these things. And people just forced us to use buzzwords, but nobody really understood why we should use it. And that's also why people in a team get annoyed when there is a new tool coming up and the team leader suddenly says, okay, let's use this project management tool. But no plan whatsoever how to set it up and make sense of it. And then they hire very expensive consultants to set it up for them. And then they make plans and standard operating procedures and how they should use the tools. It's usually overly complex and bells and whistles all over the place that adds more work to the team that they actually would need. And I personally started using Asana back then in corporate for myself when I took over the first IT team there. Then I rolled it out for my 5 people, and eventually with the way that we worked in this tool, we rolled it out for more than 1,000 people, all together working inside Asana with 16,000 tasks per month. All right. So if I see 50 items sitting there on daily, if these things are not set up properly from the ground up, it's impossible to scale. And the same is for the emails. It's the question now, what is the type of emails? Is it decision-making emails? Why do you use these emails? Is nobody else doing the email work? But this being said, it's impossible in one short video to give you the solutions to all this without understanding their holistic view on a productivity system. And it starts with understanding there's a difference between information and action. There's a difference between personal and business productivity, and how everything is interconnected. That's the only way. For example, the execution beast, right? You see a few things here, and Pia, what the heck is this? If you go into the membership and look into the course, actually, there is the execution beast, and there's the map of the execution beast explaining you what's going on, but without context. Again, you look at this and you think, what the heck? I don't know what this is, and so on. Yeah, because everything is building up on the next thing. It's important to go through this step by step to understand what's going on. And it's up to you if you think it's worth investing the time for it and make a change once and for all, or if you say, I tested all the systems and they didn't work. So if you want to have one system, then this is the representation of your one system that you're looking for as a business professional. This is not for students. This is not for people with low volume. I was talking to people, they have 3 or 4 emails per week and struggle with organization of the emails. Yes, then make folder structures, or these quick fixes might work. But things like you shared in the comments, this is our people. This is where people constantly hit the ceiling. Getting back home, don't feel fulfilled because you've been busy the whole day, probably 13, 16 hours, and still behind of what you promised to do this week. Many times it is just a realization of the difference between shallow work and deep work. Shallow work is what keeps the lights on inside the business, and deep work is what actually builds the power plant. Okay, well, this gives you the overview. I'm looking forward to the comments below to see what you want to dive in next. And if you're really serious, join us in a membership, and Paco and I are personally in there to help you succeed with your productivity system, with this one productivity system that you need. The last one, the thing that is already there around you without you already knowing. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so I can catch you up on the next one.